The B1 Night Rider is in the building today, folks. I know it's a little late. I'm sorry about that. I had to go secure some food for the family. But we're going to get to chopping these fables today. The B1 Night Rider is in the building. How's everybody doing today? Let's start it off the way that we're supposed to start it off. Because, you know, any day above ground, you got to live it. So that's how it look outside in Georgia today. I know it's sunny and it's warm. Sunny and warm. Sunny and warm. And it's a beautiful day. So how's everybody in the chat? Let's see who's in the chat before we get to chopping these fables. All right. So we have Nikki the God. Hello. Hello, Nikki. Thank you again for that space we did yesterday about the soft girl era. That was just part one, folks. We're going to do part two very soon. Very soon. I have to do it before. Well, I'll probably talk about that before I sign off today. I'm not going to Iggy that right now. Quasi Blackstar. Hello. 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 B1 to you. Aboriginal woman, salute to you, salute to you. And yes, we got to get to chopping these fables, folks. So for those who don't know, I did 2 uploads today. One about Sha'Carri Richardson. I'm going to briefly talk about that before I jump into today's broadcast. She won on the 30th up in Switzerland. She beat Elaine Thompson-Hella. So she's on her comeback tour. And of course, Escovitch Twitter had to go run their mouths saying that because it was the wind was towards them and the goddamn track was wet and Elaine wasn't in top form all summer, that Sha'Carri Richardson should have an asterisk next to this win. And this is why I said weeks ago, I hope she blows the doors off the Jamaicans in Paris. Film animation art. Hello. So that video is up. So you check that out at your leisure. And I also did a history of reggae that's going to drop at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. But let's get to chopping these fables. Let's get to chopping these fables. Well, let me get this out the way first. Folks, you're going to see more of me today. I know yesterday I did a live stream with Rhonda Mary. Again, shout out to her. Thank you so much for that. That was a good interview. That's up as well. But later tonight, 6:30, folks, 6:30, I'll be chopping it up with Afro Elite about Chicago politics. So that's going to be a very interesting show. So please tune in if you can, so we can have fun. And shout out to Beatzilla for being on TMZ Live later on today. But let's get to chopping these fables, folks, because it's a very important night here in America. It's been a very it's been a very it's going to be a very important 48 hours. So tonight, I think at 9 o'clock, Biden is going to address the nation, and he's basically going to fire the opening salvo against the Trump supporters, because we are officially 5 weeks. No, I tell a lie. We are 9 weeks away from the midterms, and he has to make sure to brainwash enough people in this country about Trump supporters so Democrats can stay in power, because everyone's predicting Armageddon, which they'll probably steal from me because I'm black, and it's easy to steal from a black person. So know where y'all got that word from when you hear it, Armageddon. But they're depicting the red wave. The House and Senate goes back to the Republicans. He becomes a lame duck president. And the Republicans have already said that they're going to start impeachment proceedings if they win both the House and the Senate. So Kamami might be out of a job, but we'll see how that goes. But folks, look at the chop in this fable. So, like I said, with that Biden thing that's happening tonight, the Republicans have issued a statement, and we're going to look at one statement right now. So this is from Fox News, folks. Fox News. This says Republican governor says he knows why Biden keeps blasting MAGA Republicans with angry rhetoric. Republican Larry Hogan calls Biden's jabs angry rhetoric, but warns GOP could blow midterms. He ain't lying, because especially with what's going on, which I'll talk about in a little while. Kemp, he must not want to be Georgia governor anymore. But anyway, let's go. Manchester, New Hampshire, exclusive. GOP Governor Larry Hogan argues that President Biden's repeated jabs this past week targeted MAGA Republicans who have embraced semi-fascism as pretty divisive, angry rhetoric. Hogan, in an exclusive national interview with Fox News during a brief stop in the battleground state of New Hampshire, charged that campaign politics are behind the president's attacks on the GOP's right wing, which is still very much under the influence of former President Trump, and that Biden's aiming for an electoral advantage for the Democrats as they try to hang on to their razor-thin House and Senate majorities in November's midterm election. However, the two-term Maryland governor, who is known as a Trump critic, reiterated his concerns that Republicans could blow what could be a wave election by moving too far to the right and by focusing on relitigating the past instead of zeroing in on the pocketbook issues crucial to American voters. How many times, folks, have I told y'all, we don't care about your white supremacist temper tantrums? We do not care. We care about the economy. What measures are taken to keep our kids safe, and how we can keep each other safe. That's all we care about. And if you're going to do reparations, that's the only for, there's one more, world BS, make sure nobody bombs us. Those are the 5 things that we really care about. We don't care about this white man infighting. But let them tell it. This is what we're supposed to be concerned with. But anyway, Hogan sat down with Fox News Digital on Tuesday afternoon around the same time the president in his speech in Pennsylvania spotlighting his plan to tackle crime and beef up police funding. Soft launch of Crime Bill 2.0, anyone? All right. Once again took aim at what claims is the far-right extremism and lawlessness of MAGA Republicans. Right. Because it's MAGA Republicans running around New York City and LA and, all these Democrat-run cities. It's them doing the crime. Okay. Say less. All the black people y'all love spotlighting, saying doing 52% of the violent crime. Yeah, they're all MAGA. Got it. This duplicitous bastard. Look at his face. God, though. That's a face. I ain't gonna say the rest. Oh, you can't be pro law enforcement and pro insurrection. Now I agree on that. Can't be both. And I'm anti either because cops have shown a propensity to cover themselves even when they know they're wrong. And I have videos on my channel, even though I was there, I did not agree with them going inside the Capitol. That was dumb. The president charged, as he referred to the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol by right-wing extremists and other Trump supporters, which disrupted congressional certification of Biden's 2020 electoral college victory. They, again, neglect to mention that there was BLM and Antifa in the building as well, but okay, fine. You can't be a party of law and order and call the people who attacked the police on January 6 patriots. You can't do it. Biden's latest language followed comments from last week that made national headlines and received plenty of pushback from Republicans. But what we're seeing now is either the beginning of the death knell of an extreme MAGA philosophy, Biden told Democratic donors at a gathering in Maryland last Thursday. It's not just Trump, he went on. It's the entire philosophy that underpins the I'm going to say something. It's like semi-fascism. Yeah, like what you're doing, sir. At an ensuing Democrat National Committee rally that even the president charged that MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security, they're a threat to our very democracy. Okay, sir. Yeah, MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security, they're a threat to our very democracy. Sure, sir. Kind of like I don't know what's that term, folks. Oh yeah, illegal immigration. Yeah, that's not a personal rights violation and economic security violation. You're right, sir. It's MAGA Republicans. Yeah. It's not the fact that you don't want to you want to cut Pell Grants now for black students with what you call it, with them trying to go to school and earn an education because this is what y'all promote. It ain't that, right? It's not that. It's not the LGBT XRK UPC LQV JFK airport agenda that y'all are allowing to run rampant in this country. Yeah, it's none of that, right? That's not it. It's MAGA Republicans, the very few. It's them. That small militia. Yeah. Yeah. And y'all fall, and y'all won't expect us to fall for this. Okay, say less. You got it. And they talk about Trump being raided. Yeah. Hogan emphasized that Joe Biden ran saying he was going to try to bring the country together and that we need to lower some of the kind of divisive, angry rhetoric. And yet this is pretty divisive, angry rhetoric and name calling a little bit over the top. So I think it's a mistake. I get the electoral advantage or why he's doing that, because he's got a tough race coming up in the midterm elections. He's trying to move things away from what I would say from his failed record as president and the fact that Democrats who control everything in Washington have moved too far to the left. And so attacking the right wing of the Republican Party, the MAGA base, is probably good politics, but I don't think it's the right thing for the country. Commented that his party is facing serious issues that could derail its expected success in November's midterms. Quote, this should be a really huge red wave because of the failures of the Biden administration. We should sweep the U.S. Senate, House. We should pick up governor seats and state legislative seats and legislative bodies. Unfortunately, we're not doing that, because he argued. I warned about the only way we could screw it up was by blowing it, by moving too far to the right, and by focusing on relitigating the past and talking just about President Trump and the stolen election in 2020. That's his words, not mine, YouTube. So don't go flagging my video. That was his words. But anyway, enough about that. This is what I'm talking about, folks. There's things that we need to worry about, but they're worrying about somebody's ideology that has nothing to do with us. See, what they neglect to tell you is we ran a lot of the black MAGA off, and a lot of them have started to reinvent themselves and just go back to being straight conservatives. That's a white problem. So y'all have y'all temper tantrum. We gonna worry about what we gotta worry about over here. But we're gonna continue, folks. We're gonna continue because, again, a lot happened this past week. This past week. So down here in Georgia, y'all know me. I'm banging on Stacey Abrams because I can't stand that broad. And FBAs are trending. So shout out to y'all. Yeah. So Stacey Abrams and Kemp, they had a debate last night. And somebody put a battery in old Stacey's back first. Somebody put the battery in her back. Somebody gave her talking points that could snow anybody. And this is a problem because if she's allowed to talk like this, them white liberals and them idiot black bisexuals are going to vote for her, and this black folks in this state are done. So this is just an excerpt of what happened last night. And I need to know who her speechwriter is, and we got to figure out how to safeguard B1 FBA's descendants of American slaves and freedmen from this.
My question is, why are you encouraging people to break the law for you in this election?
Mr. Kemp, you are very aware that I know the laws of Georgia when it comes to voting. In fact, I am one of the foremost experts in the state on expansion of voting rights. And I have never in my life asked for anyone who is not legally eligible to vote to be able to cast a ballot. What I've asked for is that you allow those who are legally eligible to vote to allow them to cast their ballots. And in fact, we took you to court in 2016, and a federal judge said that you illegally canceled 34,000 registrations. You use the exact same system, the exact match system that is under dispute right now. Now, I realize that in the next response, you're going to say that it's a function of my organization because your tendency is to blame everyone else for the mistakes that you make. My responsibility as a leader is to see a problem and try to solve it. When I saw that we had 800,000 unregistered people of color in the state of Georgia, I started an organization that has reached into every county and increased those registrations. When I saw that people were being unlawfully denied the right to vote, I worked to make certain that we held you accountable. And as the next governor of Georgia, I will continue to do my job to make certain that every legally eligible vote that gets cast is counted.
Ms. Abrams.
I hate this woman. I really don't like this woman. I really don't. This right here, folks. This is that. This is that elitist look. This is the look like she thinks she's better than you. I can't stand her, folks. I really can't. She's another one. She's a duplicitous bastard as well. Y'all are watching one of the last few George Soros, aka the Sorry Man, one of his ultimate lackeys. This is like the final boss, folks. Black Alpha Network, hello, Mammy Luther King Kong. God, dog. He said it, not me, folks. Hey, J Joe 4040, thank you for the super sticker. A dumbbell. No, she's a dumb ass, not a dumbbell. Don't disrespect dumbbells. Please don't disrespect dumbbells. I hate this woman, folks. Y'all don't understand, blood. Papa Hotep, hello, welcome. How are you today? I can't stand her, folks. But let's talk about what she said. Eligible voters. Because we have this, folks. We have this. This just came down the wire an hour ago, folks. We're going to go back up so you could see the title. Trump allies back mass challenge to voter eligibility in Georgia. Now, this story can either make or break her argument. So it says, a group backed by Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, and Overstock.com founder, Patrick Byrne, is challenging the eligibility of tens of thousands of Georgia voters just weeks before the November election in a state where the former president fought hardest to overturn his 2020 laws. Group Voter GA filed 8 boxes Monday containing what its leader says are 37,500 challenges to voters in Gwinnett County, and one solidly Republican area of suburban Atlanta that has voted Democrat since 2016. The move comes less than 10 weeks before the November 8 general election, and it's tight races for governor and a U.S. Senate seat that could help decide control of the chamber. The challenges promise to make it harder for some registered voters to cast ballots and put a heavy burden on already stretched county elections officials charged under state law with responding to them quickly. Anna Dennis, executive director of Common Cause Georgia, says the group has heard of similar efforts in Harris County, Texas, and Florida, but the challenges in Georgia are the most extensive currently underway. She said it's almost also troubling because Georgia law allows the state to take over local elections boards if it finds them incompetent. Many clerks are worried that if they don't do a quick vetting of the mass challenges of the challenges lead to longer lines on election day, they'll face a state takeover. Asked how his office would handle the influx of challenges, Gwinnett election supervisor Zach Manifold started to laugh, combined with what sounded like despair. Well, it is interesting that these things usually take a while, and that's with just 100 of them. Okay, folks, let's give a brief history of Gwinnett County. Gwinnett County has an influx of illegal immigrants. Let's just call it what it is. A lot of illegal immigrants go to Gwinnett County. Now, Gwinnett County is east of Atlanta, right? Yeah. It's like northeast of Atlanta. That's Lawrenceville, that's Duluth, that's Snellville, all in places. That's where a lot of them live. They don't like to tell you that. Now, 37.5 can really swing that county and really go into the direction of helping to challenge Atlanta proper and the rest of the state. This is not what they want you to know. And also a lot of AAPI live out there as well. They don't want to tell you that. They're going to make it seem like it's just black folks that aren't registered to vote. They'll probably say, oh, you're a felon or whatever, you can't vote. Things like this. So we moved down a little bit. The guy said 20,000 of those votes being challenged voted in 2020, which is way more than the margin of victory in the presidential election. In a short video released Thursday, the group said that meant the 2020 election was still contested. Okay, folks. Again, it already happened. I understand you guys still think Trump won. Okay. Yes, there were inconsistencies across the board, but you can't argue with the result. He won. You got to move on. I said it. Other people have said it. He wants to get back in office, win your senator seat in your county down in Florida. Let them elect you Speaker of the House. Impeach Biden and command me. You are third in line as Speaker of the House. You become president. You get reelected in 2024. You'll be the first president to do 10 years. That's how you should do it. Be quiet now. Enough with this. Oh, they stole the election from me. Enough. There's no evidence of widespread voter fraud in Georgia or in any other state during the 2020 election, despite multiple recounts, audits, and lawsuits sought by Trump and his allies after he sought to contest his loss. Okay, enough. I'm sure Biden will probably bring this up tonight in that speech. They're still talking about being robbed in 2020. Enough already. But I want to do something for y'all, folks. I'm going to do something nice. We're going to look up the new Georgia voting laws, because apparently that was what Stacey was running on last year, saying that it disproportionately really affects black folks and people can't go vote all of a sudden. So here we go. We're going to put it on the screen, folks, and we're going to read it together. And we're going to have a nice discussion to see if this hurts or helps black people in Georgia. So it says, number 1, early voting expands in most Georgia counties. Nearly 2.7 million Georgians voted early during the 2020 general election, and the new law will offer more opportunities for early voting in most of Georgia's counties. There will be at least 17 days of early voting starting on Monday, that is 22 days before election day, until Friday before an election. The bill requires counties to have at least 2 Saturdays of early voting, with the option of offering voting on Sundays as well. Previously, Georgia required only 1 Saturday of early voting. Many of the larger counties where most Georgia voters live already offered early voting on 2 Saturdays, but the new law will expand access to early voting in many of the smaller, more rural counties. Counties must operate early voting from at least 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., but can offer it from 7 until 7 if they choose to offer expanded hours. So when you heard Stacey running her gums last year talking about, oh, y'all only having it from 9 to 5 when people are working, so nobody has to vote because that's where black people are working, you idiot. I just read for you. They changed it. Now they can go 7 to 7. And I'm pretty sure Fulton County is going to do it. DeKalb County is going to do it. Gwinnett's going to do it. Bibb County, where Macon is, it's going to do it. Savannah is going to do it. Pretty sure. RG Titan, hello. B1. Let's continue because there's more. ID is now required not just for in-person voting, but also for mail-in voting. Previously in Georgia, a form of identification was required for voting in person, but not for voting absentee by mail. The new law requires those requesting and returning ballots by mail to also submit a driver's license number or state ID number. If the voter does not have one, he or she can submit a photocopy of a different form of identification. The county's registrar office or the Georgia Department of Driver Services can issue free state ID cards. When a voter returns an absentee ballot, he or she can also provide the last 4 digits of their social security number in place of an ID number. I don't know how safe that is. I would never put my social security number on an application through the mail. I'm just saying. This provision replaces a signature requirement for verifying a person's identification, and it's opposed by voting rights groups who point to some studies that show that voter ID requirements tend to disproportionately affect voters of color. Folks, this just reminds me of that damn video back in the day when old boy went to that white college and them idiots thought that black folks could not get ID. This is what it reminds me of. I might, you know what? I think after I read this, we're going to play that video because that video, every time I see it, it just makes me mad. It really just makes me mad because I still don't understand how we're still doing this. But okay. Let's continue. Absentee voting. New rules regulate drop boxes, ensuring time frame for requesting and returning mail ballots. While no excuse absentee voting has been in place in Georgia since 2005, the state didn't authorize the use of secure drop boxes as a way to return ballots until the 2020 election as a response to the pandemic. The new law mandates at least 1 drop box per county, but restricts where they may be placed and where they may be accessed. They must be located inside the clerk's office or inside a voting location that are only to be accessible during early voting hours, then closed when the early voting period ends. This is a departure from the 2020 elections where drop boxes were available 24/7, and there can only be 1 drop box for every 100,000 voters in a county. The timeline for requesting and returning ballots has also shortened under the new law. Previously, voters can request a ballot 180 days out from an election. Now they can request them 78 days before an election. Ballot applications must be received by the clerk no later than 11 days prior to the election, earlier than the previous deadline. State government officials will not be able to send unsolicited ballot request forms to voters. Only voters who request absentee ballots will receive them. Third parties can still send out ballot request forms, but the front of those forms must be marked, "This is not an official government publication that was not provided to you by any governmental entity, and this is not a ballot." Okay, so basically, limiting drop boxes, and you're not allowed to have an absentee ballot unless you request it. So we've read the first 3. Is this harming or helping black people in Georgia? I want to hear the consensus from the audience while I load up this Ari Horowitz video that still makes me mad. I will give y'all a second because I forgot to do this.
Insult to my existence.
Yes, Biden is still an insult to our existence. So while y'all think about that, we'll go on to number 4. Food and drink distribution to voters in line by non-poll workers is banned, but self-service water stands are allowed. White and colored fountains, anybody? Nah, I'm thinking too much. All right, say less. One of the most contentious provisions is Georgia's ban on giving voters food or water while they're in line at the polls. During the primary last June, precincts around the state were plagued by hours-long lines of voter rights groups were quick to point out that the late spring and summer heat make the ban on distributing food and water especially onerous. Volunteers of third-party groups regularly hand out water on hot days or hot drinks on cold days to voters standing in line. Folks, they love saying down here that Atlanta people got money and all this. Y'all can't afford $6 for a bottle of water and a goddamn Public sandwich. Are y'all serious right now? Come on, bro. This is shot at poor people, especially black folks. Georgia had already outlawed campaigns or other groups from distributing or displaying any campaign material within 150 feet of a polling place or within 25 feet of any voter standing in line for a polling site. And the new law now bans giving voters any gifts, including but not limited to food and drink. Gabriel Sterling, one of the top officials of the Georgia Secretary of State's office, told CBS affiliate WMAZ that the ban is meant to prevent groups from using food and water to campaign within the restricted areas. The law provides an exception to allow poll workers to set up self-service water so people waiting in line can stay hydrated. What's the problem, Stacy? This was another thing you were bitching about. What's the problem? Anyway, changes to in-person voting are being implemented to address long lines and reduce provisional voting. Georgia's new law makes a few changes to in-person voting, including efforts to mitigate long lines and changing the rules around provisional ballots. If a voter goes to the wrong precinct in his or her county before 5 p.m., poll workers are supposed to direct that person to the correct precinct rather than directing the voter to cast a provisional ballot. After 5 p.m., a voter arriving at the wrong polling site may cast a provisional ballot if unable to reach correct precinct before polls close. In November, about 8,200 provisional ballots were cast because a voter wasn't at his or her correct precinct. Nearly 6,800 of those votes were accepted. Overall, 17,697 provisional ballots were cast in the 2020 general election, and 11,781 were accepted. The law also attempts to address long lines, demanding that counties with any precinct with over 2,000 voters in the last election or one that kept voters waiting for over an hour to vote must create an additional precinct or add more resources to reduce wait times. Well, guess what, folks? When I went to go vote in the primaries, I didn't have to wait that long. I was in and out in 15 minutes. So maybe they got it right. And I went in the evening. So there's that. Number 8, election board will have new powers and won't be chaired by the Secretary of State. So Rastenberger is not going to be running the show this time. 5-person state election board will no longer be chaired by the Secretary of State, who now becomes a non-voting ex officio member. GOP Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger has been at the center of attacks by fellow Republicans for pushing back against attacks from former President Trump. The chair and board members will be elected by the General Assembly, giving more power to the Republican-controlled state legislature. But no members of the board may serve simultaneously in the state legislature. And while elected by the legislature, the chair is supposed to be nonpartisan. The new law prohibits the chair from actively participating in a political party or organization, donating to a political campaign, or running for public office during his or her service and in the 2 years preceding the term as chair. Excuse me. The state election board has new powers over local election officials. It can, for instance, suspend county or municipal superintendents based on performance or violation of election board rules after first conducting a preliminary investigation and hearing. It may then appoint temporary replacements, but it can't suspend more than 4 officials. Number 7, results are to be reported faster. CBS News didn't project the winner in the presidential race in Georgia until 10 days after Election Day, partly because it took counties so long to count the massive influx of mail ballots. There are several new provisions in SB 202 that will likely lead to faster results of future elections. Because of the pandemic, the state election board passed an emergency rule in 2020 that enabled election workers to start processing absentee ballots 15 days before Election Day in November and the January runoffs. The new law codifies that change, meaning workers will be able to start processing but not tabulating absentee ballots 15 days before election day for future elections. County officials will be allowed to start tabulating absentee ballots after 7 a.m. on election day, but results cannot be reported until polls close. Counties must now report returns from absentee ballots by 5 p.m. the day after election day, or else they could face an investigation. So no more suitcases. That's what they're saying. The new law also requires election officials to post the total number of ballots cast, including election day, early voting, absentee ballots by 10 p.m. on election day. The intent is to provide a clear picture of how many votes were cast early in the counting process. Under the new law, election workers will not be able to stop counting ballots once they've started, so that they can produce faster results. With the new procedures comes a shorter timeline for counties to certify results, 6 days rather than 10. Yeah. Voters may call a new hotline with complaints alleging voter intimidation or illegal activity. I'm pretty sure the Dixiecrats and the good old boys will be blowing up that number when their people start losing. I'm probably going to skip that one. And runoff election period would be 5 weeks shorter. Following Georgia's high-profile Senate runoffs, which delivered Senate control to Democrats, state is changing its runoff process. The law still requires a candidate to win a majority of votes to avoid a runoff, but SB 202 abbreviates the runoff period. Previously, 9 weeks separated the general election from the runoff, but the new law now requires a runoff to be held 28 days after the election. The law says early voting should start as soon as possible before a runoff, but only requires early voting to be held on Monday through Friday. Some counties may not offer weekend early voting during runoff elections, depending on how long it takes to finish work the previous election. Because of the shorter period before a runoff election, military and overseas voters will have ranked choice voting on their general election or primary ballots. Okay, so there's that. There's that. So, Stacy, President of the Earth. That's what they called you on Star Trek Discovery. President of the Earth. Yeah, that doesn't sound like bad things. I mean, you still have early voting, you still have mail-in voting, you still have absentee voting. How the hell is this disproportionately affecting Black folks, ma'am? Example, my wife just got her mail-in ballot. She got it I think she got it on Monday. So where's the problem? I don't mind going to my precinct and voting. It's not that far away. It's about 1.5 miles. What's the problem? Again, somebody put a battery in your back. You sounded well at that debate. Now, I'm going to need this white supremacist governor to tell us if he's with or against reparations, or I'm not going to go vote for this idiot or the other idiot. I already know where Warnock stands on reparations. Herschel Walker, I know where you stand on reparations. I might go third party, or I might not go at all. But Stacey, I'm going to need you, if you want to be governor of this state, I'm going to need you to stop lying. You don't like reparations, ma'am. You don't like Black people. You're in favor of, when you get in office, to make sure Black people cannot have late night business in Atlanta, where a bulk of that economy is made, which will cause a lot of people to lose their livelihoods. Then you'll get to run around and say, hey, the previous governor and the Republicans did not want this. They wanted Black people to fail. So you'll have more Black people on the streets. Then you can go ask for federal money, which won't go to these Black people. It'll go to enrich your pockets and AAPI, who you want to take over Atlanta. I'm already hip to the game. This is why I named the show what I named it, The War for Black American Culture, because this is meant as an erasure of Black American culture in the South, because you, along with Soros and Bill Gates and all these idiots that don't like Black folks, you see the power we're trying to amass in the South. We're trying to build the empire of Black folks in the South, and you're seeking to destroy it. This is why you're in favor of Cop City. This is why you're in favor of telling everyone that all these election laws that the Republicans changed are going to hurt us, not hurt white folk. Where in actuality, it's going to hurt everyone. You want it to go back to the way it was in 2020, where you and your people can keep power by stuffing ballot boxes and bringing out suitcases and saying, "Oh well, they were there. I know y'all saw it on film, but they were there. We just never got around to doing it."
This is a sick Negro.
Yes, she is a sick Negro. She's going to get us deleted down here if she's not careful, and we don't put a stop to it. I know I might sound hyperbolic, but I'm being deadly serious. Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, the southern part at least, Alabama, Mississippi, that corridor right there, that's where black people are going right now. That's where the power is going to be. That's where the economics are going to be. She's actively trying to make sure we don't amass power. And we can't have this. But let's get to the video, folks, because that thing about voter ID, another hotly contested thing that Stacey said, that we ain't got IDs down here, black folks, even though 97% of Georgians have state issued ID. But let's just focus on the 3%. Well, this guy, fair use, by the way, he went and asked questions, and let's see what white folk think about black folks and their lack of ID, as so they say.
ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
He didn't even hesitate, folks. He didn't even hesitate. He said absolutely, with his dumbass glasses on. Absolutely.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Keep that pin, folks. Let's keep that pin.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been prescribed or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs.
Chris Farley's nephew just said we are typically in areas where we don't have access to DMVs. What? So all these black people, sir, that where you're at, all these black people driving around don't have IDs because we need that problem. Let's see. Hang on. Ricardo. Oh, look. Ricardo. I'm not even gonna butcher your last name. Ricardo C. What is voter ID law? Fill me in. Voter ID law means for you to go vote, you have to have a state issued ID, such as a driver's license or a state issued identification card, something that can establish your identity and that you're a citizen of that state. That's what it means. They tried to make sure that people are, the people in that district are registered voters and they're registered correctly, because they don't want to start bringing a whole bunch of folk in to try to pad an election, which the GOP has speculated happened in 2020. They let a lot of illegal people vote. So, yeah. Oh, don't worry, RG Titan. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
You do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel
Folk, okay, I had to stop it there for 1 second. Folk, where have we heard that line before? Where have we heard that line before? Black people don't know how to use the internet. Where have we heard that line before? I'm gonna see if somebody can get it. Where have we heard the line, black people don't know how to use the internet before? Where have we heard this? No problem, Ricardo. Film animation art, they didn't even hesitate. All the liberal white supremacists are on code when it comes to their message shit. You goddamn right. Again, this is at Berkeley in Northern California. Most of them people have never seen white people. They've only seen white people and they've seen Latinos. They ain't seen too many black folk. So they only see black folk on TV. It's kind of like them Chinese when they see Africans for the first time, they don't know what to do with themselves. They think it's crazy. They think it's abnormal. They start taking pictures. But again, folk, where have we heard this line that black people don't know how to use the internet? Here you go, folk. We gonna play it. The duplicitous bastard Biden said this, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he did.
The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination.
Whoa. My bad. I forgot he said that at the end. I forgot. That's my fault. That was my fault. But you heard him. To get the Belle Biv DeVoe, black folk don't know how to use the internet. Hey, dumb Biden, duplicitous bastard Biden. Sir, let me explain something to you. That tether that runs the shade room, without black folks knowing how to use the internet, she wouldn't have been what they call the TMZ of black folk, the black TMZ. That's what they call her. Hold on 1 second. Let me just read this. J Joe 4040s. Thank you for the super chat. Do you do collabs? Can you invite Michael Wayne TV up to speak on FBA music? I can't do that. Have him reach out to me. I will get that done. I do collabs all the time. Like I said, I did a collab yesterday with Rhonda Mary TV, and I'm doing a collab tonight with Brother Afro Elite of Chicago Politics. So yes, I do collaborations. I actually encourage collaborations because I want to expose myself to a new audience. Aboriginal woman says, so everyone in inner city code for black people don't know how to use the internet. Biden was on code when he said that. He was on code. But yeah, we don't know how to use the internet. Like I said, that tether that runs Shade Room, no, without black folks knowing how to use the internet, she wouldn't have taken off. World Star Hip Hop wouldn't have taken off. YouTube would not be what YouTube is if black folks didn't use that. TikTok, ladies and gentlemen, you know, aka Nick Knock, for those who know what I'm talking about. They wouldn't have been what they are without black folks using the internet, because again, TikTok, you can't really use it on the desktop. You have to use it on the phone. But yeah, again, this was 2016, folks. But again, this is 2016. So technology isn't what it is 6 years in the future then, but black folks were learning how to use the internet. So what is she talking about? What is he talking about? But again, this is Northern California. This is outside of San Francisco. I don't understand. These white folks must never have been to Oakland, but that's okay. Let's continue.
I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed.
Ma'am, what is this? 2003? What do you mean we don't have data? 2016, people had unlimited data plans. What are you talking about? I've had an unlimited data plan for 8 years. What are you talking about? Oh, by the way, I guess Wi-Fi didn't exist in 2016, right? All right, say less. Because I remember black folks running around, going to each other's houses, using up each other's Wi-Fi and not paying for it. We always used to make that joke that you go use up my Wi-Fi, you might as well pay me for it. People used to get busted cheating because they walk into someone's house and the Wi-Fi automatically works. But you're right. Here we go. More stupidness. And this chick has the nerve to wear a Bill Cosby sweater. The nerve of her.
I also think there's a repression of like black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, like you're not allowed.
Damn, she can't even get a lie right. She's stuttering.
Allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at some states like Florida, that's a huge population of the like African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem.
Oh man. Now let's have a discussion. Is she true on that? In 2016, is Florida? Well, it probably was, but yes, Aboriginal woman. They think we're still have fun with minutes. Snake is the only game we have on there, and the App Store don't exist. And what we had meter connections. You know, if you go into the App Store, you get charged. RG Titan, California, the so-called liberal haven of the divided snakes. Yes. And film, animation, art, all these black people on YouTube and Twitter space are just bots according to them. Shit. You wait till October. Yes, the Obama phones. Yes. Motherfuckers sitting up here with they up there hooking up their older exercise bikes to the generator so they could pedal the satellite dish so we could get internet. Man, if they don't go sit down somewhere. Freeway Dread. Hello, sir. Hello. Freeway Dread from Twitter. Florida do have a lot of felons. Yes. But again, she's basically saying people in Florida are too stupid to get internet. We can't afford it. That's what she's saying. Ricardo, I'm going to subscribe. I'm working. Hope to catch you next time. Cool. Well, if you get off work about 6:30, you could watch the next collaboration I have. But take care at work and don't work too hard. Film, animation, art, the Allied Black folks still using Netscape and AOL. Shit, they still AOL. No, they still think we're using the fax phone, the fax connection. No, I don't agree with her at all. Oh, don't worry. A whole bunch of black folks came in. They were on code. A whole bunch of FBA showed up and were on code. Here we go.
Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie.
That's my favorite person out of the whole video. That's a lie. Who said it? Say it again, sister. Say it again.
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so like we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. Like that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy camera?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that, on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm. I use my phone.
There you go. There you go. You found a sister with unlimited data in 2016. There you go. There you go. I can get to the DMV when I was in New York. I know exactly where the DMV was. It was a 30-minute drive from my house, or you take the bus. You take 2 buses, Roosevelt Field, walk across the Meadowbrook, and the building's right there. Or if you're in the city, the one in Brooklyn, there's one downtown Brooklyn, Atlantic Station. So that's a bus and train ride. Where they're talking about 125th and 3rd, you can either jump on the train or jump in a gypsy cab. So what are y'all? This is why white people and them damn white liberals get toasted online. This is why. J. Joe, how do you ask? Do you know where it is after he told you the address? I didn't knock him for that question because he understand that a lot of people do know where it is, but a lot of people just don't know how to get there because a lot of people would either take a gypsy cab over there. Like they'll just climb in the cab and say, take me to DMV. So I didn't knock him for that. Because there are some places where people, you know where it is, you just don't know how to get there. And especially, we're talking Harlem. A lot of the people he probably talked to in Harlem probably don't have cars. So at that moment, you're being asked this question, so you're trying to figure it out from memory, how to get there. But you just heard a sister say I had unlimited data in 2016. But okay.
Unlimited data.
I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this
a hotspot
perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process was.
I just think that's ignorant.
Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm hearing a lot.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, but you're judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Are you
Love
cool?
showing my ID.
You got no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Sis with the bald head dude, she looked like she needed, she ain't want to be there towards this white man no more. So she got to be really all cold. Oh my God.
There was a rule where you had to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
And there it is. And there it is. Oh, white liberals. I would love for that guy to go back and 6 years later interview them white liberals at Berkeley and say, hey, if it wasn't for black people, we wouldn't voting would have been crazy in 2020. Without black people and the internet, a lot of your favorite artists would not be where they are today. Without the internet and black people using the internet, we collectively in this country would not be richer and as rich as we are. Freeway Dread, it sounds crazy because how the hell Obama got him previously? Fact. At least in 2012, like they just forgot. This is 2016, folks. This is not 2006. I could understand them saying this in 2006. I could understand this. This was 10 years later. What, black people weren't on Facebook? Black people weren't on Twitter. We weren't on YouTube. We weren't on Instagram like that. This is what we're saying. This is what they're telling us. People black folks weren't sharing around when Obama showed up somewhere in some speech talking about that's my president. Oh, I get it. It's the jungle drums, right? White liberals. That's what it is. I can't believe I forgot about this. It's them damn jungle drums. We still use jungle drums to communicate. That's our internet. You know, the Black Americans have their version of jungle drums. Us in with Caribbean lineage has it. The ones over in Africa, you know, they have theirs. The ones in the UK, they fled with theirs. We get it. The ones in Canada, you know, they have it wrapped up in goddamn moose skin, and they have it. That's how we communicate. That's our internet. That's what they think. By the way, white liberals, since y'all are at a higher institution, maybe you should have went to the library and looked up who invented the internet. I'm sure some of y'all will say it was Al Gore. I need y'all to go look up who reinvented, and I'm going to say the word reinvented, the cell phone. The modern day cell phone you're using right now that y'all were holding in your hands, probably on your white supremacist message boards. Look at the person who brought the technology to where it is today. And don't say Steve Jobs, sir. It was actually a black man, but y'all won't go look that up, but we're going to leave that alone because y'all was still in school. So we can we can have you plead ignorant or supremacist, whichever one. I don't give a damn. But let's continue. Let's see. Joe Laws, USA, melting pot of cultures. That's what US rich, not God. Okay, thank you for that comment. And we're going to move on because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, folks. Let's have a little bit of fun. Hip hop. Another part of the war for Black American culture. I'm going to jump out the window on this one, folks. I'm going to jump out the window on this one. I think there's this war on hip hop due to the fact that there is this continued push for reparations, and hip hop is going to be a major negotiating tool when reparations are ultimately doled out to Black America. And I'm talking about the descendants of American slavery, FBA and freedmen. Everybody else from the diaspora do not get this unless you're half, and you've proven it. Everybody understands that hip hop is the most revenue generating genre of music on earth. Everybody knows this. Tyrone Simpson, be one. Trillions of dollars have passed through the genre of hip hop. Trillions. They like to say billions, but it's really trillions. And once reparations are doled out, a lot of people who are in the music sector are going to have to pay off. Now, the good thing about this is music has been consolidated into three groups: Universal, Warner Music, and Sony. So everybody ain't gonna be able to be running around trying to hit up everybody for some coins. But then we got people like Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe, Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, and all this keep claiming that Caribbeans and Latinos created hip hop, which is further from the truth. Dewan B has done a live stream breaking it down. I did a video today breaking it down. Again, I'll debut at 6 o'clock. The history of reggae and its American influence. There's that word they like to conflate, influence. Folks, we in the Caribbean diaspora, we owe a lot to reggae. It was the music of the people. Well, we cannot say that it was just in the Caribbean. American jazz, rhythm and blues, soul, gospel came from America, influenced what reggae is today, along with ska and rocksteady. But you don't hear FBAs running outside saying, hey, we invented reggae. They would dare not say that. That's not their fight. They understand that's another form of music. But we have these Caribbeans and Latinos running around saying that they're they created hip hop. When they have their own on record saying, we influenced it, we didn't create it. The one they love bringing up, Kool Herc, said, I was around them. I brought my flavor to it, but it was already there. I just put something on it to help build the foundation. Nothing wrong with that. But when you say, folks, Caribbeans, Latinos, I want y'all to come forward, put on the coconuts, put on the coconut water, come forward, bust the rhymes, brush off the beef patty crumbs. I need you to come here. Sir, the Juanano, La Raza, y'all don't want that problem. And I'm sure I'm probably backed up by FBA and the rest of them when I say this. Y'all don't want that problem. Y'all do not want to be the figureheads of hip hop. No, you don't. See, it's cool when all these hip hop artists make all this music, everybody dances to and consumes, and everybody's having a good goddamn time. It's a great way for you to say, yeah, we invented the shit. We are having fun with it. We created it. We put our stamp on it. This is ours. That's great. You all don't want the problems that come with it. This is why you guys are saying what you're saying right now, because now you're seeing people like Fannie Wills down here in Atlanta putting RICO cases on black folks. You're watching Coyle Ray go viral for twerking up some stairs. Y'all love all the good stuff that come out of hip hop. I don't know who told you this or who taught you or who raised y'all, but they failed because they forgot to tell you a basic rule. When you take ownership of something, you're taking ownership of everything that comes with it. Case in point, we all know what happened to wrestling in 2001. That's right. WCW closed down. Vince McMahon bought it for $2 million. Guess what he inherited besides the name and the intellectual property? That's right. He owned all the wrestlers' contracts. And we're talking massive contracts. And guess what? He had them on the books. Even though he wasn't paying those wrestlers, he had them on the books. He had to have his lawyers and his people sift through what was left of that shell of a company to see what he could extract as an asset. And yes, he brought some wrestlers over, but the rest of them, he said, I'm not paying these contracts. Y'all can sit home. YouTube Leisha, welcome. You seem new, so I am FB. I think Caribbeans and Afro-Latinos should get reparations from Spain, Great Britain, France, and the Portuguese, but not from the USA. I do not think non-FBAs want money from the USA. I will talk about that in 1 second, ma'am. I will talk about that. What did Aboriginal women say? Kool Herc is all over Google as the inventor of hip-hop. I'm going to talk about that as well. Give me 1 second. What was I saying? Yes. So you talk about wrestling. All those massive contracts that Vince McMahon inherited, he let those die out because he said, I'm not paying them. I'm not taking on that responsibility. And when they were over, he took some of the talent that he wanted and let the rest go about their business. What am I saying? All y'all want to run around and say, oh, we created hip hop. We created all this. Okay, fine. Let's just say hypothetically that FBA say, fine, you know what? We're not going to fight with y'all no more. Y'all created the shit. Guess what's going to end up happening, folks? I know for a fact that FBAs are not going to consume hip hop anymore. I know that for a fact. I've been around them, and when they're done with something, they wash their hands of it. No mas. They'll go and create their own music genre. Caribbeans and Latinos, are y'all ready to deal with them Jews? Let's just start talking really candid now. Y'all really ready to deal with them Jews? I don't think y'all are. See, VP Records and Greensleeves, they sold out to Warner Music, run by a Jewish man. They're getting paid pennies on the dollar. They gave away these people, folks. Now, VP Records was ran by two Chinese people that lived in Jamaica. Greensleeves was over in the UK. I think they were black owned. Folks, they gave away dollars to take cents. And to have all Warner Music wanted was the artist. They could give a damn. They let them still operate because they're paying them pennies on the dollar. Jamaica, are y'all ready to deal with them Jews? I don't think you are. Y'all don't have the stomach to deal with them. I'm being real today. It's September 1st. I'm being real today. I need y'all to really understand what I'm saying to you. Y'all not ready to deal with them Jews. Y'all not. Y'all not really ready to deal with them Asians. Jamaica, y'all have a history of bowing down to them Asians. Y'all gave away your most profitable port to China for the next 50 years. Y'all are not ready to deal with them. Busta Rhymes, you ran outside. Thank you, YouTube Leisha. You ran outside and said Black America has no culture. Sir, you ain't ready to deal with them Jews by just you saying that. Who are probably paying you to say that. Let's just talk about it. And this is probably the last time I'm going to bring up this conversation. Y'all not ready to deal with them. Jamaica, we barely have any assets just to make sure that the people down there don't have to rely on IMF and Cash Plus and all these other places just to make a dollar, just to keep the country's lights on. Y'all not ready to deal with them Jews. Latinos, y'all really want to be part of this conversation? We're going to be real. Y'all swear up and down, y'all Crazy Legs and all these other people and Puerto Ricans and all this in the Bronx created hip hop. Okay, fine. FBAs, again, hypothetical. Y'all washed y'all hands of it. Latinos got it. Hey, Latinos, what are y'all going to do with that power? What are y'all going to do with that power of hip hop? Explain that to me. Graffiti has slowly died out as part of hip hop. So y'all, unless y'all plan to have a resurgence of graffiti art, I don't see that happening, especially in this white supremacist system that we live into. They'll be ready to throw federal charges at you for doing some graffiti. But okay, fine. I've come from New York, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you got a permit now, you can't really be doing any of the artsy stuff that we used to do, like break dancing and having battles outside. Oh, the cops will be on you real quick. Don't believe me? Go to Union Square one time. The cops be watching. There's a channel on here called, I think it's Union Square Ciphers. I could be wrong, but just type in Ciphers Union Square. Those people have permits. Don't think I could just take a bunch of FBAs and Caribbean folk and go in a park and start doing freestyle. A whole bunch of cops will come around. Guarantee it. Hey, Latinos, y'all worrying about coming in this country, then you sit there, establish an enclave, then y'all want to run out and say, oh, we vetted hip hop. This is us. I had some idiot on the video saying, oh, Tito Puente was doing percussion in Sugar Hill Gang. Okay, so now we're saying Tito Puente is hip hop. That's what we're saying now. Might as well put Carlos Santana in there, right? He's hip hop. That what we're doing. Latinos, y'all not ready to deal with them Jews. I'm just gonna say it flat out. Y'all not ready. The dude down in Florida who owns Goya, he know what time it is. He not gonna say nothing against them. And he damn sure ain't gonna say how the Cubano people created hip hop. He know better. How the hell does he know better? Latinos, y'all worried about DACA and all this. Why aren't y'all calling out your cousin saying enough of this? We trying to get some footholds in this country. We trying to take over. Why y'all not? Why are y'all talking about that? That's not our fight. You know they don't like you. You know we don't like them black folks. Let's just call it what it is. We really don't. I'd rather fight with them on getting some power out here than go fight with them Jews over some money, because that latter is going to be a loss. We will go bankrupt messing with them. I really don't care at this point, folks. I'm getting sick and tired of this argument. I'm a Jamaican telling y'all this. Let people have their own culture. Every time I hear somebody from the Caribbean diaspora or Africa say, hey, Black Americans have no culture. Really? They have no culture. Interesting. They have no culture whatsoever. The same culture that you're sitting up here exemplar doing what's the goddamn word? I'm so pissed I can't remember the word. This is the one you're emulating. This is what you're emulating, something that don't exist. Black America, FBA. Y'all new nickname is John Cena, because apparently y'all culture, nobody can see it. It's available it's in a warehouse. Y'all can see the inventory, but nobody sees it visually. Nobody can see it with their own eyes. Okay, let's play the game, Jamaicans. Let's play that game. Third World Cop, Dance Hall Queen, Shatas. 3 of the greatest movies that ever come out of Jamaica. Where the hell did y'all get the idea from that? Shatas, 10-1. I guarantee you, if you ask Sprague Benz, Paul Campbell, and Mr. Marley, I guarantee you they'll tell you they watched Scarface growing up. Dance Hall Queen. Where did y'all get the idea for Dance Hall Queen from? Where did y'all get the idea of Third World Cop? I need these questions answered, because y'all want to claim things are hip hop and you created the shit. Where did y'all get Bucktown? 1975, Bucktown. You can argue and say those 3 movies I just named are Caribbean versions of blaxploitation movies. They said they ain't had no white people. Y'all weren't really fighting white people. Again, y'all want to run around and say things like this. Are you prepared for the consequences? Latinos did not start pimping out cars. They telling stories. Where did they get that culture from? They got it from Black Americans. Oh, but we buy the old Cadillacs and they put the rims on it, do the interiors. It should be clean. They only bring it out on Sunday, unless he was a pimp. Don't play with history, folks. You don't want that. This is the overall message I'm trying to promote to y'all. This ain't no hate on Jews. It's not. I'm trying to show y'all the reason why the Jews have so much power in this country and in this world is because they know where to put their assets. They know where the fights are. They said, okay, we can't make music that people just in Israel and our little diaspora around the world are going to want to consume. Let's take a little bit of everybody's music here and there and make money off of it. Let's sponsor these new companies trying to open up. Let's sponsor these rappers trying to come in, these musicians. And then when they amassed enough money, what did they do? They brought it all under one umbrella. Now they're all getting paid. They're putting their kids and their generations through life comfortably. Yeah, black folks are sitting here in America making money off of hip hop, making money off R&B, reggae, and all this. They're not making that real money. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't want these problems. Y'all don't. Because I'm telling you, if FBA wash their hands of this, that's a problem for y'all. Because everybody's going to start looking at y'all because they're going to say, all right, fine, you guys invented it. We want y'all to carry it into the next generation. Go ahead. Y'all trying to promote Afro beats now. Ain't nobody really listening to that. I've been down the timeline. People respect it, but they're like, I'm not going to listen to that. That's not my speed. Okay, great. Now, if that goes away in 2 years, then what you got left? Like I said, Fannie Will's trying to RICO every goddamn Atlanta rapper down here. Okay, that's where most of the hip hop sound is now. What, y'all gonna try to bring a resurgence to the West Coast? Nobody's listening to New York hip hop. There is no more New York hip hop. It sounds like down here. So y'all really want credit for a genre that if certain things break a certain way, that's going to be a dead genre. That's what y'all want credit for. This is why our people do not succeed, because we don't see long term. Everybody sees long term. That's why they're able to adjust when things come up. They're like, okay, it's going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. We're stuck at that gate trying to negotiate the gate open until somebody finds a way through that gate. And then everybody trying to clamor through, but it's already too late. Y'all got to stop with this. This is annoying now. There's bigger things to worry about out here. They talking about come November, heating bills about to go up 600%. I just read a story over in UK, two coffee shops, 65% jump in their electricity bills. 65%. They talking about now people who had those electric thermostats that run off, not the electric, the smart thermostats. They got locked out in California. They couldn't adjust their heat. They couldn't adjust their AC. These are the fights y'all need to be worrying about, not who goddamn created hip hop. Y'all know where it started. Just acknowledge it and say we had an influence. Argue your influence. Don't argue who created it. Heavy is the head who wears the crown. Y'all do not want to hold the crown. Y'all don't want that. CB the Great is right. Y'all have to find a way to monetize your own culture. And hopefully you guys could get the reparations and you could start doing that, really gatekeeping the culture. That apparently is John Cena, because y'all can't see it. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. Exactly. Y'all can. But this is, I'm sorry for being pissed off, but it just annoyed me because I like Busta Rhymes. I do. It's just I can't listen to his music right now because of that shit he said. That shit he said really made me mad, because now people are looking at me and I have to answer for this man. And I don't want to answer for this man. I don't want to answer for him. And I have to go sit up there and explain why I'm part of, I don't even know. I don't want to explain for this man. CB the Gray, why do you say you guys, are you not black in front of culture? No, I am not an FBA. I'm talking about Black American culture, FBA culture. I'm talking about with him. He and I are Jamaican. I have to, when they get to argue with FBAs and I come in, the first question they're gonna ask is, why y'all allowing someone like that to say something? I can't do that. I got other problems to worry about. What is going on in the chat? What y'all talking about? I just looked at it. Wait, what's going on? Why y'all haven't? Hey, somebody got to explain this conversation that Quat Man and CB the Great. What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about me or y'all talking about Buster? I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm sorry. I was trying to download something real fast. That's my fault. But again, we got to do better, folks. We really got to do better. I don't like seeing us fight, but we have to have boundaries somewhere. And people have to gatekeep their culture. They have to. Okay, so they talking about Busta. Okay. Busta can go to hell right now. I'm sure I'll probably change. What are you talking? What? I'm talking about you turning into an immigrant trying to direct FBAs rather than your own. I've already done that, sir. Quat Man, I've already done that. You've been on this platform for how long? I've already done that. Go look back on my archive of how many videos I went after Jamaicans. How am I trying to direct y'all? I'm not trying to direct y'all. I actually agree with what a lot of y'all say. Y'all have a culture, you need to protect it. I didn't just sit up there and go in on Jamaicans and Latinos for 10 minutes to direct y'all to do something. So I don't know what you're talking about. It's not my place to direct y'all. Again, okay. How did I, what? Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to do this. I'm not even going to do this. Okay. No, I'm not even going to do this. Okay, sir. I need you to come up here and explain to me what I said that was directed toward y'all. Please come explain this to me. Go ahead. There's the link. I need you to explain this to me. I'm not going to do this again. For the last time, I'm not trying to tell FBA what to do. FBA know what to do. I'm trying to talk to my people because obviously y'all and them are not connecting. So maybe if I say, hey, Jamaicans, y'all need to calm down. There's other fights y'all need to worry about getting reparations from the Arabs, from the French, from the Jews, from England, from the Spanish, from the Dutch. Worry about that. These are insignificant fights. That's telling me to go tell FBA what to do. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. CB the Great, we're not arguing where y'all came from. That's never been a contention. Has never been a contention. I go by what y'all say. Hang on. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, like I was riding with you until you just said, "Hey, you guys need to," like you started suggesting that it's not important for us to defend our legacy because I'm guessing because it's just music to you and it's not light bills and it's not something that you would consider worth I guess worth defending. And then you're like, yeah, you guys should defend it, but whatever. um and it's like you've missed the entire conversation, and I can't help but to think that it's because you're not it's not your legacy. So so for you, you would rather FBAs be doing something that's more convenient for you, like most immigrants.
Okay, number one, I'm not an immigrant. That's number one. Number two, I never said that.
Like most non-FBAs. You just sat up there and said something to the effect of, like, oh, like there's going to be, do you all know that there's a water crisis coming or something like that? I can't even remember what it is.
First off, that was directed to Jamaicans and the Latinos. That wasn't directed to FBA.
Oh, okay. That's what I heard.
Well, you misheard what I said. I said that Jamaicans and Latinos need to stop worrying about who created hip hop when there's about to be an energy crisis very soon. There's other fights to worry about.
Yeah,
I don't have
so
to
I
go
thought
tell.
that you were...
I don't have to go tell FBA what to do. That's not
Okay.
my place.
All right, then I misheard you then, because I thought you were
fine.
directing that at us.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. This whole last 30 minutes that I was ranting, that was all directed to Jamaicans and my people.
All right, then. All right, then. Then my mistake. Carry on, please.
No problem. All right. Let's continue, folks. I don't mind having a conversation and explaining myself. Again, that whole 30-minute soliloquy I did was directed towards Jamaicans because the shit is annoying now. FBAs have a culture. That's it. End of discussion. Move on. Oh, we got another one. Don't mention Jamaica until you can survive on the land. Okay, fine, whatever. Fine. You know what, Dominic? I'll do it for you. Folks, it's September 1st. I will never mention Jamaica again. There you go. I will never mention them again. When they get their doors blown off in Paris, I won't mention it. I won't even do the story. I'll let everybody else do it. When something significant happens in Jamaica, like maybe they get on code and get reparations, I won't even mention it. It's okay, folks. Fine. Oh, I know they got to worry about the Chinese. I know. I mean, far be it from me. I used to be on that big Pan-African tip. I mean, far be it from me to worry about, hey, Jamaica, y'all, the ones down there on code, y'all need to start talking to the youth and developing a new goddamn generation of people that are on code. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm trying to get to the goddamn ones that are up here cooning all day for white folk and try to tell y'all stop listening to them. Listen to the ones that down there in the trenches that are actually trying to move the youth forward. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not going to talk about that no more. Y'all right. I shouldn't. So, like I said, this is the last time I'm going to talk about hip hop. And according to Dominic, this should be the last time I talk about Jamaica because I never survived on the land. And I've been there like 4 or 5 times. And I wasn't running around with the youth. I was there putting money in the youth pocket them. even more than what I should have. Yeah, I shouldn't do that no more. All right, cool. Y'all right. I'm gonna abandon my plans to hopefully get Jamaica on code, get their agenda together so we can go to the Queen and go to Macron and Israel and the Middle East and the damn Dutch and the Spaniards and go get the money that they took out of that country, that $500 billion plus. I'll take it out that I'll abandon that fight because F the youth down there. They don't need that. Jamaica should just be known as a place where reggae started and a tourist destination that was made famous by a white man from the UK who created a superhero that everybody in the world can recognize. You're right. No more. Not doing that no more. We gonna keep going. But again, I'm just gonna end it off with this. Y'all right. Let everybody else tell it. This is just what it is. It's cool. This is how I feel inside right now, folks. Maybe I should just go back to cooning. Maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should just go back.
Sorry, double coon.
Negro, please. I ain't gonna coon no place, man. I'm done cooning. Cooning is done. This Negro here is when I make fun of people. That's the only time you'll see this motherfucker come out. I ain't got to make fun of nobody today yet. Not yet. Once we get to Twitter, then we'll start making fun of people. I need some of that soul food, bro. Shit. According to Rhonda Mary, I need to go to Mississippi. That's where they got the good soul food. But maybe we'll have a show about that one day. Which southern state got the? You know what? I think the South. Y'all got to start calling y'all states. Y'all whole different countries, bro. Real talk. Red Fox. I fuck with Red Fox. Speaking of which, and I've mentioned this before, Red Fox even knew about this whole diaspora back in the 70s, and he knew what time it was. So you know that brother was way on code, even though he married a non-black woman, but we're not gonna go there. Here we go. You was in Jamaica, where I bet you wasn't in Kingston. Okay, I was in Mandeville. I didn't realize that. Oh, I had to go all the way to Kingston to be real. I didn't know that. Thanks, Dominic. I'll make sure to go do that. I'll make sure to go visit Tivoli and Matches Lane. I'll make sure to do all that next time I go to Jamaica. I will do that, and I will film it. You're right. Me going to Mandeville meant nothing. Y'all gonna tell me that is a rich area, and that's nothing. Go ahead. Would I ever visit Africa? Yes. I'm actually saving up for that. Africa and Japan. I'm actually saving up for that right now. You know what, Dominic? Name everywhere you want me to go, and next time I go to Jamaica, I will go. I will do that for y'all. YouTube Leisha, I hope you don't like beignets because they will not let you in New Orleans with that comment talking about it has the best soul food. Marcel will be mad at you. Go to South Africa and Tanzania. You will love it. I actually do want to do the safari in Tanzania and go to South Africa and really get with the B1s down there. I do want to do that. Let's see. My mother's side. Let's see what Quad Man said. My mother's side has Native American and they all high yellow with features that are not European. That's great. You know what's great about Black Americans, especially the FBAs and the freedmen? You guys know y'all's history and you guys have access to it. A lot of Jamaica's history, if you don't have it written down on paper or somewhere, you don't get it. You won't know it. I'll share something that I found out years ago. I was talking to one of my cousins and she said that my grandfather on my dad's side, he sold a high grade down there until he was killed. And then my grandmother took it up, and that's how she put a lot of the kids through school. So I come from a side of drug dealers, I guess. That's what she told me. So we're just gonna go alleged. But I have no doubt. I have no doubt in, dismissing what she said. But yeah, I love my lineage. I do. And I would love to learn more about it. But, when I go to Jamaica, I'll probably do that. A lot of them aren't around anymore. But it is what it is. But folk, let's go. We got to have our fun. We got to have our fun. By the way, Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes.
Dancing.
One more time.
Dancing.
And right now I'm working on the triple coon. I am working on that right now. Feeling speaks. That is xenophobic. Jamaica always had good weed. That is xenophobic. Let's see, down there. Jamaica original of that landmass. We never came over our shits. We were already there. Yes, sir. We're not debating that. We're not. The Arawaks, Tainos, the Africans that were, the black people that were already there. We're not disputing that. We're not. Only a very select few came off them boats over to Jamaica. Nobody's disputing that. But folks, let's get into it. Let's go have some fun. Wait, I got to make sure I have it loaded up, because last time I didn't have it loaded up. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all was ready to yell at me, boy. Oh, and by the way, FBAs are trending. FBAs are trending. FBAs are trending. That's just an alert. That's just an alert. That's just an alert. And we're gonna kick it. What the hell? Sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. I gotta start it from the beginning. Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot that went on this week. We might be here for a while. We might be here for a while. Here we go. We're gonna start from here. All right, folks. Let's get into the Twitter nonsense. All right, we're gonna get into the Twitter nonsense. Before we do that, that's what African Americans don't get. They are also indigenous. They are. You know what? I'm actually gonna mention their name, even though I don't like. I shouldn't say that. I don't fool with them. Secure the Tribe does on Twitter does make sure that people understand that they are indigenous to America. So I will give them props on that they do make sure that people understand that. And Sparks, you Jamaican, I thought you were FBA. No. My lineage, both sides, is Jamaica. I was just born up here, so I've been raised around Black Americans my whole life, and Caribbeans. So that's why I'm able to talk to y'all from both perspectives, because I've seen how FBAs moved in the 90s and the 2000s, and I've also seen how the Caribbeans move in the 90s and 2000s. And they both move very different. And I've always tended to lean towards the Black Americans because they've shown me a lot of love. They've shown me as much love as my dad's side of the family has shown me love. I don't really fool with my mom's side because they kind of did her dirty. I don't care. I'll just say it, folks. When my mom had me, they kicked her out the house. Not her parents, but she was going up here for school and they kicked her out. So she had to go to my dad's and his family with just me, her car, and a crib. So yeah, there's been a disconnect with that side of the family for years. Like I never gravitated towards them outside of my grandparents, her parents. I just never fooled with that side of the family, really. So yeah. But you know what, Dominic? I want to invite you up probably in the next 2 weeks and we talk about this, because you actually brought up something you brought up something that I do want to get some more knowledge on, like the indigenous Black Americans. I do want to have that conversation. Spark said, "Oh dang, I thought you were Black American." I am not an anchor baby or a tether. I will say that my parents actually never taught me to hate Black Americans, so I ain't no tether. But yeah, Dominic, if that's something that interests you, yes, come up and we'll have that conversation. CB the Great, you can come too. Anybody that has extensive knowledge of that, please come up. I actually want to have that conversation within 2 weeks. But let's get into some Twitter nonsense. Yes, I would love to have that conversation, especially the Jamaica aspect and all that, because you seem to be very knowledgeable, and I need that. It's one thing to just read about it, but to hear, somebody who was there and can really tell that story, that's more invaluable than anything. Let's see. The Snake said the original description and images of American Indians in the U.S. literally describe Black Americans to the core, even the food. Yep, I've seen those pictures, but they want to whitewash it because it makes white supremacy feel better. But let's get into the Twitter nonsense. I have a lot. We got a lot to go over, folks. We got a lot to go over. So we'll begin with this. Now, this was in New York City, folks. This was the hometown. Now, we all know about the PETA and them animal rights activists. They serve a purpose. They serve a purpose. They purposely ruin your day. I remember years ago they tried to throw paint on Little Kim, and Little Kim got in their faces and they backed down real quick. But this man, I guess, is he's a white supremacist legend for the week, because he stood up in front of them and ate meat while they were yelling at him over animal rights. Let's see.
You're disgusting. What do you think you are? You're just a coward. You're a fucking coward. You're a spy piece of shit. And you're embarrassing yourself. What am I gonna do? Nothing. You're gonna die on your own without fucking
It feels fucking good. You and your small dick and your pussy way of killing animals, and it feels.
Well, number one, he didn't kill that animal, ma'am. He got that from the halal truck. He got that kebab from a halal truck. He ain't getting no white sauce, so he already and he didn't get no rice to go with it. So he must be broke. He must be a broke white man. The white man that divestors love to say that are better than black men. But let's continue.
Good. You have all the blood on your face.
And the race soldier really doesn't care. He's just standing there making sure nobody takes a swing.
And all the blood on your hands. It feels good. With your small dick.
I can guarantee you.
Now, pause, because he licked the kebab. Pause. He licked it like he was moving on. Moving on. I can't play this, but folks, we could just imagine this is Kids Bop version of Juicy. Shout out to Kanisha Taught You for putting this up. This is Justin Bieber if Usher never found him. We're going to continue. Tariq, rip this divester apart. I want to get y'all thoughts on what this divester said.
Right, they're born and raised in America, and right, they originated from America. But so it's going to be hard to kind of transition that mindset to an African mindset, someone that was born and raised in Africa, someone that
film animation art. That is not a Becky. That is a Beulah. That is a Beulah. That is a Beulah.
Appreciates their country more, someone that appreciates Africa and the people and the food and the culture. It's just a great disparity. Unfortunately, it's hard. So I have learned to listen to my parents because they were right. Of course, parents tend to know more than their children, which is true. And I can't make that argument again with them, and it's good that experience is the best teacher that helps you to learn people's true characters. Like at this point in time in Nigeria, you know, in terms of marriage, in terms of seeking a relationship, you know, black people are banned from that category for me, you know, and just.
I guess the ancestors did not want me to hear the rest of her BS. That's fine. That's fine. Because I was about done. I was about done. And they ran her off the block. So there's a happy ending at the end of that. And yes, her forehead looks like you can maybe figure out the origins of Nigeria. Her forehead has the first iteration and recipe of Jollof. But we're going to keep moving, folks. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. Oh, Amanda Diva, aka Dion from My Brother and Me, aka I told Issa Rae it's okay to put the AKAs in her show Insecure. Damn what Black American females say online about you. She went off on Biden, specifically because she said voting Trump out was supposed to cure all the racism, and it's gotten worse. Let's see what Dion from My Brother and Me had to say with her Grenadian crazy self.
I hate that this country is so and racist that when I find myself crying at a video with like kids holding a puppy or somebody doing some really nice with their grandpa because they made their first home run, etc. I hate that immediately after I get that touching feeling of just human to human compassion, I say to myself, I wonder if they're racist. Does anyone else have that?
What?
Because it's really that's the thought that would naturally come next.
What? What? Huh? Your mama what? A normal man. You're about 3 seconds away from being blocked. We are off that subject, sir. If you do not like the Twitter portion of the show, you can go get something to eat. Preferably, what is it, Thursday? I think they sell cow foot today. You can go get that. And you will enjoy it. Just make sure they don't give you skin or the fatty part. Go do that. One more comment about hip hop, you will see yourself out. Nikki, you are being summoned to do what you do best and start blocking motherfuckers. I'm not having this conversation again. People, enough with the hip hop stuff until I call for it. I thought we had that discussion. I don't want to talk about hip hop no more. It's all good though. But back to Amanda Diva. Amanda Diva. Dion from My Brother and Me. What are you talking about? When I watch videos of something heartwarming, I don't question their racism level. I don't have that kind of time. I deal with enough racism online and in life. I don't have time to try to decipher who's racist. But that's okay. Okay. And it must be Tether Thursday. Sir, go call up Miss Junie and see if the oxtail is ready. Please. Or go drink some Milo, sir. Something. Please. I like y'all having fun in there, but no more hip hop talk, please. Thank you so much. She said Amanda bipolar. I'm not going to go that far yet. Because every other day she can have a good thought. But this wasn't it. She sounds like that crazy chick I played last week talking about how Drew Barrymore shouldn't be out in the rain frolicking. She did a whole 54-second think on it. That was dumb. Okay, where all my wrestling fans at? Where all my wrestling fans at? Y'all will like this. I know it's two white people, but this was funny as hell.
And clear.
Fair use.
We good?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yo, Riddle, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
The gravy is
Talk about my
better.
family, man. Let's talk about your family. Oh, wait, you ain't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and they don't want to see your bitch ass anymore, huh?
What did you just say?
Yeah, you heard me.
Where are you,
bitch?
Where are you?
Oh, I'm gonna get flagged. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Damn it. I can't play that. I'm gonna get flagged for the ether beat. I'm gonna get hit. I can't monetize this. Okay, we're gonna keep moving. But that was fun. That was fun. That jerk chicken is fired. Yeah, when you get it right, it is fire. I've tasted a lot of bad jerk chicken. That's a video that I have in the video coming up at 6 o'clock about FBA influencing reggae music, so we're not going to play that. Oh, Stud Pierre. Stud Pierre. What did you say, Stud Pierre?
Participant protocols, I'd refer you to them. They have their own specific protocols as well. So they're two different things. They're two different things.
But so how is it two different things? Somebody unvaccinated comes over on a plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody walks into Texas or Arizona unvaccinated. They're allowed to stay.
Correct.
But that's not how it works. Like we actually no.
I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is happening.
But that's not. It's not like somebody walks over and that's not how.
Exactly what's happening.
How did this broad just lie like that, folks? They're not walking over, baby. The press secretary said that immigrants aren't walking across the border. That's what she said. My wife said, wow. I don't know if they're flying. They might be rhythmically moving across the border because they invented hip hop. Folk, how is she telling this lie? How? Let's continue. I don't know how she's telling this lie.
Thousands of people are walking in a day. Some of them turn themselves over. Some of them are caught. Tens of thousands a week are not. That is what is happening.
So let me just lay out what we have done under this administration.
What have you done?
We have installed new border technology and set up joint protocols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch more human traffickers. We have already made over 3,000 arrests in the first 3 months of launching an unprecedented anti-smuggling campaign with regional partners. We've secured record levels of funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. And then she go lying again, folk. Guess what? Stud Pierre, y'all had a program called Operation Talon that stopped all that. Or did y'all forget that? Operation Talon stopped human trafficking, especially with the children. Y'all's president, your leader, let it end 3 months after he got into office. So now you have a worse crisis than you did 2 years ago. Shanna Friedman, welcome. Communication Secretary should read what to say. She's the press secretary. She talks to the press. She's not the communication secretary. That's a different job. They must be salsa dancing across the border then. No, they're rhythmically walking to hip hop records because they invented it. Yes, ma'am. No problem. No problem. How is she telling this lie, folks? How is she telling this lie? They don't see it. I get it. Stuff here only sees coons. I get it. Okay, we're going to move on. Speaking of coons, we got to talk about this, folks. This video is hilarious. Y'all got to explain this. Where did these children get these coons?
Where'd y'all get them raccoons from?
His mama, boyfriend had.
His mama over there. No, how you get these coons?
Her mama, boyfriend caught him.
Oh, wow. Y'all better
they
be.
They live right down there.
Y'all better be careful because if the mama raccoon see it, she gonna attack y'all.
I know she live down there.
And those things carry rabies.
They took a blood test.
Oh my God. Y'all is crazy.
This young boy gonna come with another coon.
Nuh-uh, stay back. Stay the fuck back.
So that's got to be, well, the one that the first one had, that got to be rolling. This here got to be Scoon TV. That's got to be Scoon TV.
Oh my God. Y'all is crazy.
Look at Scoon TV.
All right. All right, y'all. Go ahead. Y'all better be careful with them things, man.
Head like a
Be
mother.
careful.
God, dog. Oh Lord, look at that. She just grabbed that coon.
Huh? Hold
That's
on.
what we gotta do. Grab up them coons.
Gee.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You gotta love it. Shout out to them kids and shout out to Red Joker. Folk, we gotta talk about this. This scares me. Because my little girl about to start school next year. This scares me. If she brings this home, she's out of that school that day. So it says the agenda to get your kids to let down their guard for the purpose of MAP to have easy access to their P word, you know. Now, they fact checked it and said it was false. So it says what to do when a stranger comes up to you in the street. I don't know if y'all can see that. Wait, I might have to pull up. Wait, oh goddamn. All right, we'll just do it from here. I'll see if we can adjust it a little bit. We'll go down. Okay, here we go. So it says 1, do not be afraid. If a stranger walks up to you, no need to be scared. Usually they don't mean any harm. Dark skinned brother, hello. What? They usually don't mean you any harm? Are you serious? Y'all can't be serious right now. Okay, say less. Let's continue. Number 2, do not scream or cry. This can hurt the person's feelings. How about a kick to the nuts? Which I'm going to teach my daughter. Kick them in the nuts. Number 3, do not call him the P word. This can be just as offensive as the N word. Torian Rain, hello, sir. This actually is not flashcards. This is a pamphlet that a black woman said was in her kid's book bag. And they're telling the children, do not be afraid of strangers and do not call them the P word because it'll hurt their feelings. It'll hurt their feelings. How about kicking them in the nuts? They won't have feeling for a little bit. And number 4, try to get to know him better. He just wants to make new friends just like you. And again, they tried to claim that it was false information. Oh, please. They're saying this is false. But the fact somebody in their warped brain created this, just tells you there's a lot of sick people in the world. Torian, it says, what to do if a stranger comes up to you on the street? Yeah. No. When you see a stranger come up to the street, you don't engage them. If they follow you, you go into a building and you tell someone somebody's following you. If you can't do that, I would say hopefully your math skills are good. You see a car coming, you dart across the street, and hopefully the car will swerve and hit that person. I am not advocating violence. I'm advocating saving your life. But let's continue. So I did a video on this. Chris Rock blasted over disgusting joke making light of Nicole Brown Simpson's deletion. White supremacy always breaks their tools. I'm not going to litigate this man anymore. That is Star, who said he was talking about Tariq, saying that he and Tariq do not agree on a lot of things, but he respects the fact that he's put in the work and the boots to the ground. I know a lot of us have seen it, and we don't have to litigate it. By the way, the caller Jen and the other person who was talking about how Crazy Legs created hip hop and he was the reason for it, both y'all can go to hell. We're going to keep moving.
Thank you. How are you, baby? How old are you? How old are you? Well, thank you very much. Thank you. How are you, baby? How old are you? How old are you? Almost double figures.
Is this your man's? Biden sexual. Is this your man's? Biden sexuals. Is this your man's? Why are you saying a little girl who's 9, she's almost double figures? What does that mean, sir? I don't know what that means. That sounds creepy. And people were in the comment thread actually justifying him saying this. Saying it was innocent. Say less. Hey, who wants to laugh at white people? I don't know y'all want to laugh at white people. Let's laugh at white people. Now, this is a meth lab that blew up. Look at white people. Meth is a hell of a drug. Now, this is in Detroit. Will someone go? And that black man just keeping it moving. And that white guy. Meth is a problem in this country, folks. That's the lab. Okay, enough. Let's continue. I don't think there's anything there to laugh at. This is Sha'Carri Richardson. She won the race. And they did not want to give her credit. I did a video on this as well. Now she's right here. Number 6.
Frühen Ausscheiden und hier noch einmal das Duell Elaine Thompson gegen Sha'Carri Richardson und Mushinka Kambunchi hat da gar nicht mit die gewinnt, so wie es mir scheint, bei 2 Meter Gegenwind vor Thompson.
Congrats to her for coming back. No more meth. No more meth. Until they open up the next place. But yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson won in Switzerland. And of course, Escovitch Twitter did not want to give her credit. They blamed the weather and the wind. And Elaine not being in top form. Okay. Y'all will like this.
If I let you know. I can't.
That was heartwarming, wasn't that, folk? That was awesome. That was awesome. But let's continue. We got some more. Yes, let's play this.
Fund the police. Fund the police.
Prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record.
Sure, we will, and we have, sir. We have looked at your record.
That I have a record and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record.
Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience.
I do not believe you are a racist.
Come on, man.
Every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill.
She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail.
Which you did.
Come on, man. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and clean.
And he was talking about Obama.
Nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
I do not believe you are a racist.
Sure.
And with,
keep going.
I don't know. Go. You know the thing. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun.
Yep.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. This country is doomed.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me?
Bisexuals, is that your man's? Is that your man's? Is that your man's? Bisexuals, is that your man's? All right. I'm going to leave Scoon TV alone because I saw his MAGA hat. I'm not even going to bother. Y'all will like this. If you have children around, let them leave for 10 seconds.
No, we don't spit. When it's in your mouth, you swallow it. Shut the fuck up. Don't eat it.
The only problem I have with that video, folks, is you cussed in front of the kid. And the brother did not say that's what she said. It probably would have been up to 20 million views if she would have said that's what she said. I have to figure out how to incorporate this Coon GIF in my show. El Haj Malik El Shabazz.
I think you're right there. I would not limit our employment demands to Negroes. I would include Puerto Ricans and other minorities throughout our country, which have been similarly discriminated against, though not for so long a period of time as Negroes.
Puerto Ricans weren't enslaved. Yeah, this is a problem that stems from slavery. And this compensation, yes, sir, this compensation is coming to people who were enslaved by the white man for 400 years. The Puerto Ricans...
Oh, screw you, Twitter.
Limit our...
Puerto Ricans don't even fit into this picture.
Well, they do fit into it.
No,
they do fit into it.
The problem is the Negro problem. They're not lynching Puerto Ricans.
If a dark-skinned Puerto Rican went down to Mississippi, he probably would be lynched too.
Spanish, he wouldn't be lynched.
No, they don't.
It's the Negro here, and as long as he can speak Spanish or some other language, or if he ties his head up with a turban or something, he can go anywhere in Mississippi or in your home that he desires.
You're not aware of the fact, are you, that African students have been arrested in our demonstrations in the South?
When they
speak French.
When they have been mistaken for the so-called Negro in America, they've been arrested.
What I'm saying...
Talk to him, Brother El Haj Raj Malik El-Shabazz. Talk to him. Talk to him. Shout out to Mike Baggs. He's been on code. This video pissed me off, folks. Shout out to Nikki the God for putting this up. This pissed me off. Okay, I can't play the damn music. But basically, folks, the old Ogun spirit of this old lady protected her husband from these two suspected white supremacists. Now, I'm sure somebody will say they're drunk. We don't care. Grandma does not play with her husband. She's been with that man for 140 years. They love each other. That is love right there. Because that white man who was there did not pull his old lady away. But you saw how the black woman protected her man who could not protect himself. That's love. I don't want to play that video because I just don't. But we got a problem with this video, folks. We got a problem here. Now on this video, folks, this was at the US Open. This was Serena's latest match that she won. Now we have, I believe this is her mother. And next to her is Dionne Warwick. But listen to what the commentator said.
It almost helps Serena that, oh, got some more stars.
Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight.
Hello.
Now, y'all know damn well I ain't no Gladys Knight. Y'all know damn well I ain't no Gladys Knight. Who is in their ear? Who is in their ear in the boot in the truck telling them this? Y'all find all the black celebrities, but then all of a sudden y'all don't know who the hell they are. I'm surprised when they showed Tiger Woods in the audience, they didn't say, "Oh shit, there goes Chris Rock. There go Denzel." The hell? That's Dionne Warwick. Dionne Warwick was hot in the 80s. Come on now. Yes, sir. I remember that. I remember, who was it? On Hot 97 up in New York. They did a contest. They wanted people to figure out who the cowboy on Pee-wee's Playhouse was. Everybody called in and said it was goddamn Lawrence Fishburne. I looked at them. I'm like, y'all are dumb. All y'all that called 10 minutes after the contest started, y'all couldn't go look this up real fast on the internet. This is why white people can't stand you, because this is woeful ignorance. You have people in the truck that have access to the internet. Y'all saw who this was beforehand. Y'all should have looked them up. But whatever. You get shout out to Beatzilla. That this was going to happen. Catalytic converters were going to be stolen from the older cars because of this electric vehicle nonsense. And catalytic converters are going to be hot commodity. 5 arrested, $4.3 million worth of catalytic converters seized during raid in Texas. And guess what? It wasn't us this time. It was AAPI. You know, Stacey Abrams' favorite people to invite to the cookout. That's right, folks. They did it. But we're going to move on. Satchmo.
To us. Louis is going to...
Quick backstory. Satchmo went to Ghana, 1956, and endeared the people with that good old American jazz. Let's see how receptive the Ghanaians were.
Hey.
Go on, Satchmo. Yes, sir. I will be watching your video before Yeah, but Black Americans have no culture, right? A whole Black American goes over to a native country and through music can communicate with the people, but they have no culture. Got it. Got it. Hey, Buster, bet you wouldn't put this up on your timeline, sir. But let's keep it moving. Bezilla, yeah, that I talked about when we began. Biden tonight, 9 p.m. is going to dub MAGA GOP fascists, semi, and a threat to democracy. So Abby Phillip will be happy. Let's see. Here we go. Cornbread Mafia. Shout out to that brother. He's always on code.
Crowds as a college student.
Come on, you know the song.
I learned it in speech. The greatest orators of all time use crowd response.
Somebody scream! Breakdown!
Rising young rappers like Curtis Blow may be the newest stars of pop music, but the origins of rap date back hundreds of years.
Break it up, break down!
Went out on my front porch walking around.
Stories in rhyme have traditionally been common among the black poor in the Deep South.
Face, comb his head, next thing he want to do, slip in my bed.
In the interaction between black preacher and congregation lies the roots of the call and response form of most rap songs. The scat singing of the jazz greats comes from the same tradition, as does the verbal virtuosity of musical giants like James Brown. Rap's Caribbean counterpart can be found in the reggae rhythms and rhymes of Jamaica.
People, what we need to do is to understand each other.
The art of rapping was brought to the radio in the 1950s by disc jockeys like Jocko Henderson.
We used to say things like, E to the yuck. Ho, this is the jock in the back on the scene with the record machine saying goop bop do. How do you do?
The boastful poetry of Muhammad Ali is in the rap tradition.
Ali swings to the left, Ali swings to the right. Look at the kid carry the fight.
As was the civil rights rhetoric of the appropriately named black leader H. Rap Brown.
Because if America don't come round...
Crowds.
Will y'all believe the white man? Aboriginal woman, you ain't shit for that. Was cool working the house where that lady was rapping. Hell no. I don't even think he was born yet. The one thing they always forget the signifying monkey. They always forget to mention that part, but you know. They never want to bring up Rudy Ray Moore when they talk about rap. Only when they do the urban documentaries. He should be in the mainstream documentaries, because without Signifying Monkey, you don't have rap. You don't have hip hop. Signifying Monkey, I dare say, was one of the original genesis of not only storytelling, but where diss records came from. And battle rap. If there's no Signifying Monkey, there's no battle rap. I dare say that. But, you know, let's continue. Tell us.
Today, Poon Yu was deported to Cambodia after serving 26 years in California State Prison. He was unjustly transferred to immigration detention. This video is dedicated to Poon Yu and the thousands of others who have been unjustly transferred.
And you got 2 black people there. Okay.
In California, our policies.
No, I want to hear what he said.
Use our state resources to reinforce.
Let's hear what he said. I want to make sure I get everything.
Common humanity.
Transferring Californians who have completed their
our values: equality, fairness, compassion, and common humanity.
Which y'all have shown not near black person in California, but continue.
Who have completed their sentences from jails and prisons is cruel and double punishment. We should not use our state resources to reinforce systemic racism.
Really? Really? Hey, Cambodians and Latinos and the coons. Let's ask the question. I'm Jamaican. Did y'all have the same compassion when they were throwing Jamaicans out in the 80s for a little bit of weed? Huh? Were y'all outside talking like this? I'm sure you weren't. Were y'all doing that in Canada when Jamaicans were trying to come over there and y'all sent them right back? Were y'all advocating for them there? And that was recent. That was, I want to say 2008. Were y'all advocating for Jamaicans then? I don't think so. But y'all expect black folk to come outside and white conservatives and everybody else that does not align with you to come outside because a woman did 26 years in prison and then they said, you got to go back home. Guess what? They do that every day, B. If you violate in this country, you will do the time here and they will send you back. That's what they do. It's a problem now when it hits your shore. Then it becomes a problem. Because I'm pretty sure y'all weren't going crazy like this with this whole setup with the Karen on the right side and two coons on the middle. Y'all weren't saying that when they were doing that to all them Latinos and all them black folks, right? Y'all weren't doing that. Yeah. Okay. Even she looked before she left, folks, like she didn't believe what she. And again, I could talk about the face panties on them, but I'm going to leave that alone because you guys are outside, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all have the Belle Biv DeVoe. So why are you doing what you're doing? But that's not the subject of this video. Let's continue.
Passing the Eviction Act.
Speak up.
Families and communities together.
Speak up. I don't know what she said.
The Vision Act will set a model for the nation and advance a positive vision.
Why did they let the female elephant man speak? What is your fight in this? I'm not sure.
The Vision Act will set a model for the nation and advance a positive vision for care, healing, and transformation.
Who is filming this? Why did y'all not? Y'all obviously got some money. Where is the boom mic? Why are y'all not filming this correctly? So the first two people we heard very well, and now it looks like it's going to go downhill. All right. Thank you very much, female elephant man. Are you going to talk through the mask?
Every Californian pays the price of ICE transfers.
Man, pull the mask down. I don't even know what she said.
Between 2018 and 2019, it cost
y'all are outside. Project, please.
Californians more than $7 million to transfer people from local jails to ICE.
All I heard was ICE at the end.
The transfers from state prison to ICE and the cost to their families.
I don't know what you said.
Stop ICE transfers!
Vision
Act! Vision Act! Vision!
Yeah, the hell with the Vision Act. Y'all can go somewhere with your lives. Let's move on. I got to talk about this coon. This coon, son of Buffalo mass shooting victim, fears death penalty, will make suspect a martyr. Sir, that's not your fight. Your fight is to get justice for your mother. We don't care if they make him a martyr. Your only concern is to get justice for your mother, who was unceremoniously deleted by a white supremacist. They always find one. Buffalo, New York. While federal prosecutors are weighing whether to seek the death penalty against the suspect in the racially motivated Buffalo, New York mass deletion that left 10 black people dead, the son of one of the victims told ABC News that he does not want to see the alleged teenage gunman made into a martyr. Sir, he's already been lionized on white supremacist message boards. They have deleted videos and channels of people that talked about the story. They have censored people's videos and put it behind age-restricted walls for just mentioning that brother who created the gasless engine that ran on water. But your main concern is not the justice for your mother. Your main concern is to get on film and do an interview and say, I hope he doesn't become a martyr. Sir, again, that's not your fight. Your fight is justice for your mother and those who were killed. They always find one. Sir, you're going to get it early.
Sorry, Double Coon.
Let's continue reading. Wayne Jones, the only child of 65-year-old Celeste Cheney, one of the people slain in the May 14 mass deletion, said he would rather see the white suspect Peyton Gendron, 19, spend the rest of his life behind bars. When you see him in court, he's a child. You can tell he's a child, and whenever he tells anybody or not, whether he tells anybody or not, you could see it in his face. I messed up badly. Jones, 49, the father of 6 children, told ABC News. So for me, I would rather for him just to stay behind bars for the rest of his life. If you kill him, he becomes a martyr. There's always one. You can tell he's a child, and whether he tells anybody or not, you can see it in his face. I messed up badly. Sir. No. B1 brothers and sisters. It's not that he messed up badly. It's that he got caught. Because he wanted the police to take him out. He got caught. There's always one. Your mama got deleted in a mass deletion where we saw on film, he said sorry to a white person. And you got the audacity to say this. You don't want to see him become a martyr. Chris Dorner, anybody? As Jones spoke out, a new federal Joint Intelligence Bureau bulletin obtained by ABC News warns that the public disclosure of Gendron's nearly 700-page online diary is likely to enhance the capability of copycat attackers. ABC News, who is writing these articles? It's already out there. People put up the manifesto already. You can find it online. They knocked Jason Black for that. It's out there already. You're worried about it September 1st, 2022. It was out there May 14th, 2022, the day he did it. It's been out there already. People downloaded it. People took screenshots. Cut it out. National Counterterrorism Center document from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security said that the tactics, techniques, and procedures Gendron allegedly wrote about may contribute to the current threat landscape because it represents a how-to for future attackers. Okay. The HSFNCTC, the National Counterterrorism Center, assessed that the written guideline outlined the tactics, techniques, and procedures used by the alleged Buffalo attacker will likely enhance the capabilities of a potential mass deletion creators who might be inspired by this attack, the bulletin said. I know another written guideline dissemination. It's called the similar tactics that police use. But y'all don't want to talk about that, right? Okay. Y'all worried about what a 17-year-old wrote 700 pages. Got it. No justice for your mama. You care about him being labeled a martyr. Or, you know, let the white supremacists tell it, a patriot. You're right. Okay, sir. Yeah. I can't read no more of this. Can't read no more of that. There's always one. They always seem to find one. They always seem to find one. And last but not least,
The official says the migrants have, quote, been turned into high-tech cattle because of these bracelets. Officials say they haven't seen anything like this on the migrants who've arrived in the past. But the migrants told New York City officials that security hired by Texas Governor Greg Abbott put the bracelets on them when they started their 2,000-mile journey. This is video of the migrants who arrived yesterday, 237 in total.
Let me explain something to y'all. The Mexicans are here. Shout out to the Mexicans. They're the original inhabitants of this goddamn place anyway. Huh? California was part of Mexico. They took that. But the Mexicans are coming here. They got free housing. They just got free cell phones and free health care.
No, Twitter.
Cattle because of these bracelets. Officials say they haven't seen anything like this.
Family need to hear all this.
Black man gets nothing. Section 8 ain't came for me yet. Huh? Black man gets nothing. You get nada. Now we got Mexicans coming up here by the busload being dropped in Washington and New York City with nowhere to go. So the people are housing them. Our black white mayor, Mayor Adams, ex-cop, ex-police.
Y'all voted for him.
Huh? You know you join the police force when you hate yourself. You're gonna correct the N-words. You're gonna show the white man. You're gonna show what to do to the N-word. You know how the
y'all
black
voted
cops
for
make
him
it
though.
right. Yeah, you're gonna make it right.
But y'all voted for him.
So the great Mayor Adams said we have to house them. And nothing's wrong with that. He said we have to house them. We got to take care of them. Nothing's wrong with that. Eric Adams, you're black. What about your people?
I was just about to say that.
What about the people sleeping on the streets in Madison Ave? What about the people in cardboard boxes all over?
Everywhere.
Black people. Huh? They gonna help the Mexicans. They're gonna help every other race except black people. Black people don't get nothing in this planet. We don't realize that. We won't wake up. We hate ourselves.
So what y'all think about that before we get up out of here? What y'all think about what Sub-Zero just said? $300 million annually. That's what they're projecting. New York City is going to use to put migrants up in hotels, which is why now you look up hotels in New York City, they've jumped about 60%. Jason Black broke that down. But y'all voted for a cop in New York. People who went through the BS with NYPD, you hired a cop to oversee the cops. Not to correct the cops, to oversee the cops. The man who told you 7 times on the campaign trail he was bringing back anti-crime. Anti-crime does stop and frisk. Y'all were cool with that because you voted him in because you didn't want to deal with the white man. Now, here we are. New York is worse off than it was because y'all don't listen. Oh, yes. They voted for him. The goddamn white liberals in Brooklyn and Queens voted for him. The Hispanics up in the Bronx voted for him. Yeah. Now they got to deal with him for 4 years. have fun, New York City, or like I like to call New Tether City, aka the Tether State area. But folks, that has been Twitter. And that concludes another Thursday Talks. I appreciate everybody coming through. I'm going to get something to eat and then get ready for this live stream with Afro Elite, where we'll be talking about Chicago politics. But I just have a couple of announcements to make. Number one, the happy one. I'm back in school, folks. I am doing data analysis with I think with Excel. So I'm back in school. I think it's time for a mid-career transition. Restaurant trade is great, but I think I've started to outgrow it. I'm still going to cook, but I'm just going to do it in a capacity where it's not as strenuous. Especially with my baby girl about to go to school, we need a little bit more income. So I'm going to do that. Hey, Beatzilla, welcome. And give yourself a clap because you're going to be on TMZ and your channel is about to blow up. So shout out to you for that. Shout out to you for that. So that's the good news. Bad news is next week there will not be a show. I will still be uploading videos, but next week there will not be a show because your boy is going under the knife. And I didn't want to do this at the beginning in case people stream in late and didn't hear it. But yes, next week, next Friday, I will be going under the knife. It's nothing serious. It's just I'm going to correct a breathing problem of mine. They're going to open up my nose. Sinuplasty, what they call it. Get my sinus opened up because it's bent in this nostril. And there's a lot of mucus within this area, so gonna go get that fixed and cleaned up. So yes, there will be no show next Thursday because I know on the plantation they're gonna make me work all the way up till next Friday because that's what they do. And yeah, and that'll be my official countdown, 1 month till I leave that job. So yeah, so might as well milk their insurance while I'm still able to. So yeah, I'm gonna get that done. So there will be no show unless I get home that Friday and I'm still under sedation and I fuck around and push start streaming, and you know, y'all see me with my messed up nose and under sedations and anesthesia still, and I start talking a whole bunch of crap. But we'll see how that goes. That might be actually hilarious. But nah, I think I'm gonna take a rest, and then maybe my voice will be deeper next week. Who knows? Well, week after. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, but I thank everyone for coming through. I'm gonna take 15 minutes to go eat and then get ready for Afro Elite and this show. And we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun. Chicago politics is an interesting subject. But yes, folks, thank you to everyone that came through. Aboriginal woman, yes, I hope to have a speedy recovery. They said it only takes about an hour and then I should be fine by the next day. But I have to do saline for 6 weeks just to clear out all the scar tissue and the blood that'll accumulate. So yeah, but of course I got to go back to work the day after Saturday. So there's that. So you will be good, bro. I want to see you going down on the tethers off the meds. I'm pretty sure I'll get flagged for hate speech. CRU royalty. Hey, come through. Good health and best wishes. Thank you so much, Film Animation Art. And yeah, that's it. But you know how we're going to end off the show, folks. You know how we're going to end off the show. We got to end it off correctly. So for another week, we disrupted the tethers, the coons, and the white supremacists. Yep. And all the coons who saw me go in on them, they felt like this. Hey, are y'all debating lineages in the chat? Hey, Joe LOZ and Sam Seals, Black Alpha and I can reignite the debate sector on Twitter. If y'all want to hash that out, we can get that done. We can get that done. We can get that done. Hit me up on Twitter at the Kid Gravity. We can get that done. But before we go, folks, again, this is how everybody else sees Black American culture.
Really look